Thank you all for coming today. We're going to start talking about the Galway Summer Program here at New England Law Boston. My name is Professor Ben Golden. I'm joined here by 4 students. We have Aubrey, Mackenzie, Sam, and Molly. All 4 of these students attended the program last year, and they're going to talk about their experience. I'm going to just start by telling you a little bit about the program. I am the program director here on the faculty side. I will be teaching in Galway this summer during the first of the 2 sessions that we have. I'll talk about those sessions in some detail in just a moment. I'm only going to talk about 5-10 minutes, then turn over to our wonderful students that can talk directly to their experiences, because I'm sure that's what you're all most interested in, okay? So as you're all here, I hope you're all interested in this program. This is one of the preeminent programs in the country for law students to study abroad and gain some exposure to international law. Students that attend this program are going to study international and comparative human rights law at the Irish Center for Human Rights at the University of Galway in Galway, Ireland on the West Coast. I have been there before. It is absolutely beautiful. I know you're all there for the academics, but it is a beautiful setting to study law. You will be taught by professors both from the University of Galway, renowned experts, as well as professors here from the Law Boston, and myself included. All right. If you are interested, the application is already live online. Please go to nestle.edu, search for the Galway page, and you'll be able to apply directly there. There's a $100 non-refundable fee that you will pay, and then you will have be applied. Okay. Letting you know that in terms of how many students attend, typically 50 to 60 students attend per summer. All right. And there are 2 3-week sessions, all right? The first session begins June 21st with orientation. First class is the next day, and the last day of class on July 9th. And then students, if you're not staying for the second session, you would leave and go home on July 10th. The second session begins on July 12th with an orientation. First day of class is July 13th. Last day of class, July 30th, and then you would move out and go home the following day, all right? Each session will have 2 courses being offered. Each course is for 2 credits. During the first 3-week session, we are offering international human rights law, taught by professors at the University of Galway, and I myself will teach evidentiary issues in the age of AI, a comparative approach. During the second session, we will be offering international humanitarian law, offered by professors at the University of Galway. And then right now, a tentative course titled Comparative Constitutional Law will most likely be taught by another professor here from New England Law Boston. Admissions is on a first-come, first-served basis. Historically, we could either have sold out or have come very close. I highly recommend if you're interested that you apply as soon as possible. All right, the application, as I said, is online. You do have to take a minimum of 1 course. That makes sense. A maximum of 3 courses over the course of summer. If you're going for 1 session, you can take 1 or 2. If you're going for both sessions, you can only take a maximum of 3 courses, not all 4. All right. To qualify for federal financial aid, you do have to take a minimum of 2 courses over the course of the summer. For private loans, you could do 1 course. All right. The cost right now, and this is likely to stay the same, but there is some possibility it changes, but it will be $825 per credit, and it will be approximately $1,800 for housing each session. All right. My understanding is that the dorms are beautiful, and these students will speak to that in just a moment. All right. If you have questions, please email galway2026@nesl.edu. We have an entire team of people dedicated to the program here at the law school. Someone will get back to you very quickly with any questions that you may have. All right. If you don't know much about Galway, as I said before, is a beautiful city. It's a vibrant city. It is a historical city dating back to the 12th century on the west coast of Ireland. Lots of cultural events, festivals, music scene, pubs, that sort of thing, right? Classes that you have, either 1 or 2 per session, lots of time to get outside, explore the city. Classes are Monday through Thursday. Typically in the morning, you'll have the afternoons, evenings, and weekends to travel. All right. Of course, there's work to do in your classes, but I think the students can attest there's plenty of time to enjoy yourself as well, which I hope that you'd be able to do. All right. Questions from the audience right now? Yeah, Josh.
Credits apply towards our 4 years. Those credits come back.
Yes.
Those credits, yes, apply towards your total of 86 credits that you need to graduate here at New England Law, Boston. Yes.
Do you have to apply for each session separately, or?
There's one application I think you indicate if you would like to go for 1 or 2 sessions when you apply.
And you mentioned that was like, you said 50 to 60 people. Is that like per session?
I think that's total.
Total.
Is my full understanding, yeah. We're also getting some questions here. Can you restate the email? Of course. It is galway2026@nesl.edu. You guys want to hear from the students? All right, let's do that. So, I have one more question. Can students who have gone before go again? It is possible. You're not allowed to take the same courses again, so it depends which courses that you took and when those courses are being offered this year. So I know at least one student I'm working with to try and figure that out. If that's you, because it's anonymous, I'll get back to you very soon. Do we need a passport, or will we be studying depending on a student visa? A passport, you do not need a student visa as long as you are a U.S. citizen. If you're not a U.S. citizen, I'm not sure the answer, so please double check with someone that might know. If we are a 1L at a different legal institution and do not have our first semester GPA, how should we go about submitting the application? You can submit your application now. You need to be in academic good standing, whatever that means, at your law school at the time that you go on the program. And so that's the requirement to go on the program from an academic perspective. How quickly does it fill up? It fills up pretty quickly. So if you want to apply, please do. Application is open now. All right, let's hear from the students. Anyone? Just tell me about your experience. Let's go down that. Molly, tell me about your experience.
Yeah, I wasn't really sure what to expect going into it because it was actually my first time in Europe at all. I ended up being, it's not that I had low expectations at all, but I think I was definitely very pleasantly surprised by how much of a great experience I actually had. It's like the most beautiful place ever. Like even just the road you drive back, like going back from the airport, you look outside, it's like all this like lush green grass, there's like cows, it's like unreal beautiful. And it was so much fun to like bond with people in my class and from other schools. And when we were there, it was so much fun.
Yeah, so I did the first 3-week session, did also an internship, so we'll probably get more into that. But yeah, it was an incredible experience. I've never done Ireland. I've had family and family friends go to Ireland, but Galway was unbelievable. The amount of culture there, the Irish music, the Irish dancing, the people that you meet from other sections in your grade specifically. We only, I feel like, talk to like our section's first year of law school, so to get to meet other people that were going to be in our classes the next year was huge. And yeah, also other law schools, everything was just incredible, which I know we'll get into more detail, but.
Yeah, I had no idea what to expect going into it. I had been to Ireland before, specifically Galway when I was a little bit younger, but being there for 3 weeks was so interesting to be, more immersed in a different culture. I learned so much about the country, the people there, and it was just really fun to live away from the United States for a little bit. And the classes were super interesting, but I was still able to go out and really enjoy the city while also taking away the academic part from it.
Yeah, kind of echoing what everyone else said. Galway is so beautiful. I think it's true what they say about the green. In Ireland, it is different. And I also didn't really have expectations. Irish people are lovely. The food is incredible. I don't think we had a bad meal. There's nothing bad to say about Galway.
So what's the housing like, the dorms? How would you describe them?
I went to this very meeting last year and like one picture up and it was of dorms that were not in like bad shape at all but just old. And then we got there and the dorms were literally built last year. They are so nice. I was in a suite with 6 people, but we all had our own bedrooms and our own bathrooms and we shared the kitchen. And they have cleaning come in once a week? Yeah.
I thought it was Tuesday,
I think
Thursday.
it's- yeah,
One
twice
of
a
the
week.
days was
Yeah.
sheets, one of the days was towels.
Regardless, you're very well taken care of and the dorms are very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd echo that. The one thing I will say is if you're planning on going with friends, which this wasn't echoed a lot last year during the presentation, so I just want to make sure you guys understand this. If you're going for a 3-week session and you have friends that are going for the 6-week session, you will not end up in a dorm room with them. And a suite with them because they try to keep all those 6-week people together so they don't have to relocate. And the next session that's coming in will fill your dorms. So make sure that you're requesting to live with people that you know are going for the same session, because I tried to live with her, she was doing the 6-week session, and we all got mixed up. I was also in a 6-person dorm, didn't know the people, but got to know them. They were all very lovely. Own bathrooms, cleaning people were amazing. Make sure you remember when they're cleaning to take yourself off the bed and stuff, but yeah. Dorms were fantastic.
All right, so let's talk about the academics for a moment. Mackenzie, you referenced the classes were great. Tell us more about the classes. Which classes do you take, and what were they like?
So I was there, Aubrey and I were there during the second session. So we were there when Judge Welch was there, which was lovely. It was actually his first time doing the program too, so we all were kind of learning together in relation to the Irish Constitution and all the different influences from the people there. And obviously it's not taken, we're not doing intensive reading, so it was cool to have more of a collaborative environment where we were just speaking and sharing what we learned. And then we also took international humanitarian law, I think, was that what it's called? And that was taught by a Irish professor, and she was incredible. Her like resume was so long. She had like every master's, every doctorate degree, and we learned a lot in her class. And I just like didn't really understand how much we would learn there. But she was amazing, and it was so interesting to learn from somebody from a different country who has a different perspective, especially in like this time in like what's happening in like the international community.
Yeah, kind of going off of that, all of your course materials are provided for you. You're not asked to buy a book. I don't think we read out of a book. It was all like online readings and stuff. And yeah, just echoing Mackenzie, the classes were super interesting, really kept us engaged. Also like very low stakes, like Mackenzie was saying, it's not as intensive as like your semester law courses. I think one of our classes readings were optional. So yeah, not a lot of pressure. You're just there to kind of learn and get the full experience.
The readings in my course will probably be mandatory. So guys, talk to me a little about Galway. What were some of the highlights of the city? Your experiences traveling around the country. Can you talk to me more about sort of like your travel experience?
Yeah, I guess I can go. So I was only there for 3 weeks. The one thing I will say is I do wish that I went for 6, but I did an internship, so that was important for me. I did do Galway, and I visited Dublin for 2 days, which was plenty for a 3-week trip. But in Galway, we did the Aran Islands, and then we did a riverboat cruise. So the school provides 2 activities each session that they'll provide you with more information on that, which were absolutely incredible. But the city was just lively at all times, all days. Anywhere you go, there's music, there's dancing, there's little stores. I personally am a fan of pubs, and I got to explore a lot of the pubs, and I went over to different areas in Galway that have different pubs, and anybody you meet in there will come and sit down with you and literally talk your ear off. Every single person will ask you about politics in the United States. You're very ignorant compared to them, which you notice when you get there, but it was just incredible. I mean, I couldn't recommend it more.
The Irish people are hard to understand. Their accents are so thick. It's like astonishing, but they are so nice, and they like want you to enjoy their city, and every single person will tell you about like a place you need to go. What I really liked the most about Galway is that it's still has like its quaint feeling. You still feel like the culture. It's not like a big city. Like I went to Dublin after, and Dublin kind of feels like a bigger city, but Galway is still like stone roads, like very cute, and like still has all of its culture and like historical aspects to it, which was really nice.
Yeah, Galway is amazing, like everyone's saying. Well, we were there in the second half. There was like art festivals, farmers markets every day of the week, and it's also super walkable.
Yeah.
So we walked into the city almost every time we went. Reminded me a lot of Boston in that way. There's just so much to do, a lot of shopping, a lot of great places to eat. Yeah.
How was the weather?
I think in our session, the first week was beautiful. We got really lucky with really good weather. There are beaches in Galway. We had a beach day, which was awesome.
I think we were technically there during a heat wave.
Yeah.
So we were able to go to the beach, which was so cool, incredible.
The second half, though, like our last week and a half, was the like Irish rain, like 60s.
I feel like we got pretty lucky.
Yeah,
I mean,
for the
Molly
most
and I were
part.
there for like the first half. She was there for both, but I feel like we had like a solid like 2 weeks probably out of the three that it was good weather. They were the Irish people were saying that it was crazy that there was as little rain as there was. I mean, you had to take your umbrella with you because it would just start out of nowhere when you were walking back to the dorms. But it was. I mean, the weather was fantastic for what we heard.
It's very on and off.
Yeah, it is very on and off.
Like,
So
it'll
keep a little pocket warm.
Yeah, it'll be downpouring and then like sunny, so definitely like
All you gotta do is stand under a tree or an arch, and you'll be fine. In 5 minutes, it'll be gone.
Yeah.
So talking about walking, are the dorms and the classes near each other? Do you have to travel by train, or how do you get to class?
For me, it was like a 10-minute walk. They were all in like buildings like across from each other. From the dorms, so it was like 10 minutes. And then from the dorms to downtown, it's probably like 15 minutes to 20, depending on how far down you go.
I would. My walk downtown was a little bit slower.
Yeah.
I'm a slow walker. I'm a slow walker. I feel like they advertised it last year as you were living in like the quad. That's what I thought at least. You're living a little bit more, like say the dorms are here, downtown is like kind of here. So your walk to class is essentially on the way downtown. So if you want to go downtown after class, it's very feasible. But yeah, like 10 minutes to class or less.
We are getting some questions from people that are joining us remotely, so I want to make sure that we get to those. One question is, how long is the program for? So there are 2 3-week sessions. The first one is June 21st to July 9th, and the second one is July 12th to July 30th. The next question is, how do professors assess competency within the courses? Are the classes pass, fail? My understanding is that they are not pass, fail. The courses, your students receive grades in the courses. You have the students talk a little bit about their experiences in each course, but the courses are graded. Are you required to stay in the dorms? I do not believe you are required to stay in the dorm. I think most students do, but I do not believe you're required to.
You're not required, but at that time of year with all the art festivals and everything, it's very hard to find an inexpensive dorm less than what they provide you.
Yeah, my understanding, this is the best deal in Galway for what you're getting,
Yeah, 100%.
by far.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you repeat who is teaching which courses? We don't have that finalized yet, except I am teaching a course called Evidentiary Issues in the Age of AI, a comparative approach. What is the homework exam load like?
I will speak to the fact that it is not a lot. Sorry for the professors that taught me, love you guys, but it is not a lot. I think it's super essential, especially coming out of 1 year. 1 year, you expect to do a lot better than you might actually end up doing compared to like college. I would definitely say it's definitely a GPA boost if you need it. Maybe I shouldn't speak so bluntly, but I did love it. The classes were very easy to understand. They were my international humanitarian law, that professor from Ireland was beyond phenomenal. I said he's the best professor I've ever had. No offense, Golden, even though I haven't had you. But yeah, I would say the homework load, I mean, you spend maybe like 30 minutes a day.
So let's just answer that it varies, okay? We're hearing some perspectives
For
here.
me.
I was also gonna say, so I think, I don't know if it's required or not, but we didn't have any final exams. In both of our classes, we had a final paper.
Yeah.
And they give you, they understand that you might be traveling afterwards, so they give you time to turn it in and say, like, if you were planning to go on like a 2-week vacation afterwards, you can email them and say like, hey, I'll be traveling, I'll get it to you by this point. And because the classes are smaller than obviously here, it's, they're much more able to accommodate that.
You also do get a letter grade on the
Yes.
finals. It's not pass fail.
You
It's fine.
get a letter grade.
All right, and talking about it being a popular program, we're already receiving applications while we're here. Yes?
As far as the internship thing goes, balancing the internship and also taking full advantage of this opportunity, what did that process look like? Did you secure an internship already having in mind that you were going to Galway, and is that something you arranged that would be done for this first time? What did that look like?
Yeah, so I did an internship. I got pretty lucky with my internship. I had applied to my internship prior to the first meeting of this. I kind of got lucky in the sense that I did an unpaid internship. So the school offers a $4,500 stipend if you complete 250 hours of your internship work in summer. So I had a few interviews with my person that I worked for over the summer. Then once they presented the opportunity to me, I called him and I said, I never got to study Run in college. That was one of the main reasons I was interested in this program. If it's okay, I would like to do this. Let's talk about your schedule. Which session would work with your schedule, if any? And my person that I worked for ended up working around it. So I did 3 weeks of my internship prior to the trip, 3 weeks at the beginning of June. I did the first session, and then I finished my internship after I came back. So I didn't have to do any work when I was over there. I know a lot of people had ones that they did, but with the time difference, it's a little hard to make you do like weekly assignments more than anything. But just be cautious. Be cautious when you walk in and you interview with somebody. You're asking them for a job, so you want to make sure that you're as flexible as possible with their timing and their time that they're offering to you.
Did you also qualify for the stipend at the end of it all?
Yes, I did. Yep, 250 hours was very feasible over 6 weeks. You just gotta get your stuff done.
Yeah, I would also echo off of that. I went to obviously the second session, and I did an internship with a judge at BMC Dorchester, and he was lovely, and he had actually had students who went to the program before, so he was very understanding. I would say definitely just make sure, once you're in communication with them, that they know it might be on your horizons, and typically they're very supportive because it's a very cool thing to be able to do. But echoing what she said, like you're asking them for a job. But I was also able to get the school stipend, which was great.
Beyond the stipend, there's a question here about whether or not there are scholarships to apply for. That's a great question for the Galway 2026 at nestle.edu. I don't have an answer to that, but please email that question there, and someone will get back to you soon. Financial aid, there is financial aid available. There's a handout here that I'm looking at. I am not a financial aid expert. I do not want to give you bad information. I know to qualify for federal financial aid, you do have to take a minimum of 2 courses because it's a minimum of 3 credits, and each course is 2 credits, and typically that is a federal graduate plus loan. But if you email that question to Galway 2026 at nestle.edu, someone will get back to you with that information. We have a question about leaving an internship in the middle of the summer. I was reading while you were also talking. Did anyone have to do that?
Sorry, what was the question?
Leaving an internship, perhaps to go to the program and coming back.
Oh yeah,
I think we both did that.
Yeah, very, very simple. Kind of just talked to the person that I worked for, gave him the dates that I was interested in, made sure that worked with him, and then kind of let him know. I went a few days early because my birthday was a few days before it started, so I wanted to head over to Galway and explore the city a little bit. Just told him, gotta go for my classes and orientation to start, and then let him know the dates, and let him know the dates that I was gonna get back and the dates that I could start working again based on flights, travel, etc.
And that reminds me, students are responsible for their own travel to and from, setting up your own flights and getting to the program. It's probably a good thing to sort of do that legwork ahead of time to make sure that no bumps in the road. Anything you guys want to talk about when it comes to travel?
Yes. So it's probably my bad, but I didn't know anybody going, I just kind of went on a whim, and I was like, I'll make friends there, which was like very out of my comfort zone, which I'm so glad I did. But I saw Aubrey's name on an email, and that's the only person who was going. Once I landed in Shannon, which is one of the airports, one of the cities, you have to get to Galway, and
Shannon's like maybe an hour and a half from Galway.
I didn't really know how to get to Galway, so I kind of just like found the bus and then like went to the dorm. But probably planning that out beforehand might be best, or trying to plan a flight with somebody. It would have been great if we could have done that together.
Yeah.
But just knowing kind of the logistics of everything would be good before you get there and you're like severely jet lagged. Like I was like up for like 40 hours of like trying to navigate everything, and but all ended up working out.
Yeah, it was not impossible. Like Irish people are very nice. They're gonna help you. Also, like everyone speaks English. They're gonna be able to understand you. Like you can figure it out. Worst case scenario.
Yeah, go ahead.
How early do the dorms open for you to move in?
Yeah, they open up like the day before. I just got an Airbnb because I wanted to go early.
Yeah.
But also like if you really need to go like the day prior, I think you're able to email them and see if you can request an early arrival. They don't always do it. I didn't even try because I was like, I want to be there for a few days, and they didn't do that. But I think you're able to email and ask about that.
We have a few more questions here. How many other law schools are represented? So when you were there, how many other law schools?
I think I had
3 or 4. I'm not
yeah,
really sure.
I think I know people from Texas, North Carolina.
Yeah.
Where was Kristen?
At least those are
Arkansas.
Yeah,
It was really
a few.
cool.
A few. Those law schools don't advertise it the way that our school does. Our school is really, really, really good about advertising. The students that did come from other law schools had to do their own research to apply, so there's not that many of them.
It was really fun meeting people
Yeah.
from
Yeah,
other
it was really
schools
cool.
and like hearing what they took and like how their 1L went. It was really fun to just be in an environment with different law students.
This sort of asked that question, but can you tell us about the experience of students from other law schools? It's not really your experience, but
Well, I can say we made really good friends with one of our, he went to the University of Arkansas Law School, his name was Gray, and he went without knowing anybody. Nobody even from his school was going, and we just like incorporated like a little friend group, and we just like went everywhere with him. So I think for him it was nice, even though nobody was there. I think he had a good time.
and we're being asked what the class schedule will look like. So it's Monday through Thursday, typically in the morning times, like 9 to 2. Is that your experience?
Yeah, I think it was around there. I mean, that leaves like the whole rest of the day to go explore, and then no classes on Friday. So if you did want to take a weekend trip somewhere, that was fantastic. Yeah.
Were the dorms co-ed or was it all girls?
I was gonna bring that up.
Yeah. Yes.
You can, so what the dorm is, you have a shared common section, but there were 6, I think, individual rooms, and the doors lock behind you. So like I had a key to get into my room, and then I had a key to get into my individual room. So like I couldn't open up Aubrey's room even though she was in my little thing. So you definitely have your own individual quarters, but you have like a very beautiful open shared space. So, and people did have girls and guys in certain
There
shared
was some co-ed, some not co-ed, some 4-person, some 6-person. If you
Yeah.
find a good group that you know you're all going together, you might get lucky and get put in a 4-person. I wasn't told about the difference between the 3-week and the 6-week. I thought I was going to be with all my girlfriends, and I walked into the common area and there was a guy in there, and I was like, whoa! But then after that, we all ended up becoming friends. A lot of them were engaged from other schools or night students here, so it was cool to meet everybody. You just know to where.
And you said you had your own bathroom?
Yeah.
Yes.
And hot water.
It's
Hot
more
water's
of
not
like,
common.
I feel like dorm is not the right word. It like borderlines apartment. Like
Yes.
you have a full
Yeah.
kitchen, a TV, a common area. Everyone has their own bathroom. We had towel years. I don't
Yeah,
know.
there are
Oh my god, I
towels.
touched it.
It's like nicer than my apartment in Boston.
It is.
It sounds nicer than my apartment, to be honest. When is the application deadline? So the early bird special of $100 non-refundable application fee is before February 28th. Thereafter, it goes up to $200, and then it's first come, first served. So there's no hard deadline, but I would recommend applying early if you're interested. When did you find out if you got into the program? I think relatively quickly, but I have to get back to you with exact
I
dates.
think it was pretty quick, yeah.
Pretty fast. What are the meals like in the dorms? Do you get your own kitchen? Is there a dining hall? What's it like?
Yeah, there's full kitchenware and stoves, which was so nice because sometimes we went to like the food store together and bought like pre-made stuff. We had a couple pasta nights with everybody. And besides that, so food isn't included, but there is like a cafe right outside where we had classes, which was super nice. And you could, just get your coffee or anything there. One thing I will mention, they don't do iced coffee. So everything is either hot or a latte.
Some places do. There's one cafe that I found that does iced coffee, if you ask.
It's funny. Yeah, food was good.
Yeah, I think there actually was, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think there was an option on the application that you could get like food included in your, to a certain extent, I can't remember exactly, but the grocery store is not far away. Like 10
I'm not
minutes.
aware of a food included, but we can follow up on that.
Yeah, I could be totally wrong in making stuff up. It was like super simple.
Can you cancel after you make your $100 non-refundable fee? Yes, you can, but it's non-refundable, so you lose the $100 fee. Is there a minimum GPA? It's the requirement that you be in good academic standing. That GPA requirement depends on the institution where you go to law school. How many people are you taking? Historically, it's between 50 and 60 for the program over the summer. In past years, what time did the program fill up? It just depends on the year. It depends on the year. So please apply if you're interested. I'm not 100% sure that I would study abroad, but I don't want to lose a potential spot. Am I able to later change my mind and give up my spot? Yes, you are, but you would lose your non-refundable fee if you do that. All right, those are all the questions we have from people attending remotely. Any other questions from audience members here? Yeah.
Was anyone able to get an internship actually in Galway program?
They do law differently there. It's like an undergraduate degree, so I don't know if it would. But no, I don't know if anybody would.
I don't think you'd be able to get a law internship. You might be able to work like at a pub, but you might have to get like a work visa. Like if you wanted work over there, you wouldn't be able to do law work.
No, yeah, I did work visas for it looks really good in your resume if you have an international.
I do want to say I did not have an internship over the summer, and I went to Galway. But I also knew probably this time last year that I was going to do this. I feel like there's a lot of pressure, especially your 1L summer, for it to look a certain way. And I didn't have an internship on top of Galway. I just had Galway, but like that's such a huge talking point on my resume that if you can't do both, you're not going to lose anything. Like you're still going to really stand out when it comes to future job applications.
Yeah, can you guys talk for a second about when you've spoken to future employers, what it's like when they ask you about your Galway experience on your resume?
I'm not gonna lie, I have not talked to anybody about this summer yet. I am a little bit behind on that because I'm not quite sure what I want to do. But the people that I did talk to after the fact, not necessarily for this upcoming summer, they were very impressed that I decided to go study law abroad and take the time to learn about another culture, because it's not very common in law schools. Like I said, the other students at other law schools have to kind of dig for this opportunity, whereas our school offers it plain and simple.
And I can tell you, I used to hire interns, and it's great when you see something like that on the resume. It gives you something to talk about with the student. So, from my experience on the other side of the table, it's a good talking point. If we're taking classes in both the sessions, will we stay there in between the first and second sessions? Yes, there's only one day in between, and so you would stay in the dorms throughout. Would you mind sharing how much you would recommend bringing in terms of spending money?
It depends on who you are and the luxuries you like in life, and trips that you're going on. I mean, if you're going into Dublin, you're going to be going into museums. They might have fees. Most of the museums, at least I know that all the museums in Galway were free. From my experience, I think the churches, you can offer up donations. I usually just shopped in the farmers market. Besides going to the Aran Islands and getting an Aran sweater, I didn't do much shopping because I wanted to go experience things instead. But
I think something that's really kind of related to that is that the trips that the school plans or has for you on the Fridays, the 2 first Fridays, are so incredible that they kind of like are the sightseeing that I did there, because we went to the cliffs and we also did the Abbey, Calmore Abbey, which was really nice, and they're included in the price, which is incredible, so you don't have to really go out and pay for that. But besides that, I would say it definitely depends on if you want, things traditional to like Galway, like if you want a colada ring, if you want an Aran sweater, those are really good souvenirs. But you can also just, get some food from the grocery store and like stay in most times. So really, you can really decide how much I would say to spend.
on that point, one more point, I struggled getting euros over there. The banks, I don't know, you can go to like one of like the post offices as long as you have your passport with you, but I was already around downtown, didn't have my passport on me. If you can, I would get some euros before, make it easier on yourself. In the airport, they're more expensive to get. You have to go to the post office if not, so try to go with some and request some before, because it just makes your life a little bit easier.
And if you want to buy your professors like a little present, you want to bring a little extra spending money just in case. Are the dates on the website, do they include us being there before class for orientation? No, the dates start with the orientation date. You probably want to arrive one day before. And then will we be doing this in summer 2027? I can't predict the future, but we've been doing it for many years, and I would say yes. Yes, I expect that we will be. Other questions? No? Any questions from the
Anybody
remote
want to point
audience?
out like pubs to go to, if anybody's set on going, places to see? We asked all these questions. Yeah, go for it.
Did you guys go to like other countries nearby, like while you're there?
I knew people that did.
not through the school. My roommate went to Amsterdam for a weekend, and she had a really
A lot of
nice
people did.
experience.
Yeah, people did in Amsterdam, Scotland.
Scotland was a really big one. For Audrey.
I did. I missed the second group outing. One of my friends was in Greece, so I flew to Athens out of Dublin. Super easy, fly Ryanair, very cheap, and it was amazing. Got to see the Acropolis. So if you can travel and make it work, I would. It's much cheaper to fly out of Dublin than it is Shannon. It's kind of a small fortune to go anywhere out of Shannon. So if you want to go somewhere, Dublin.
It's very easy.
Yeah.
What's the distance between Dublin and Galway?
2 hours.
2
I think it was 2 hours.
It's not bad though. You just hop on a bus. It's like
Yeah.
super easy.
There's
Also,
$20 for a bus ticket.
I liked flying into Shannon personally. I did not fly into Dublin. Dublin airport is very chaotic in my opinion. I like smooth and easy. And then they have express buses that
Yeah.
make sure if you do fly into Shannon, there's express buses. They call them there'll be a number and then an X, which means that they don't make all the additional stops. Some buses are 3 hours. The X's are only how long it takes from point A to point B. Same for traveling back and forth from Galway to Dublin. They also have express buses there.
It's really nice.
Well, I want to say thank you all for coming. Thank you for everyone who attended virtually. That's it for our program. Thank you.